Yo, what's up, guys? Ugh, why the fuck is it raining? Today, I wanted to go over 5 mistakes silent arm mediums commonly do. And the reason I'm making this video is because I've kind of noticed something, right? Literally, in top 250, there are maybe 3 silent arm mediums in total. And I can't stand for that shit, bro. It actually pisses me off, right? This build isn't that bad. You can genuinely get top 250 with it, but there is a skill level needed that most silent arm mediums just don't know how to get to, right? And these are the mistakes that are kind of holding them back. So, why is it raining again, bro? God damn. Alright, finally. So, the first mistake, number 1, boom, boom, is this, bro. Flow state on M1 and M2. This is one of the most brain dead things you can do as a silent art medium, and silent art in general. On medium, you want your own designated button for it. I'm telling you, you want this. I know Nogo made a video where this is brain dead, you can just put it on M2, M1, and he showed him playing silent art medium. Bro, do not listen to him for silent art medium advice. Don't look at Verts, the super soft leader too, because I know he puts it on M1 and M2. There's so many bad silent art players who just keep it on M1 and M2, and they'll never ever get better because it's on M1 and M2. Please just put it on its own button so you can be intentional with it. You want to use it when you want to use it, right? You don't always have to use Relentless on flow state. Relentless on without flow state is actually very good. It can still do the same thing as Relentless on with flow state, but it's you don't have to waste a flow state. And especially, you don't want to, if you're M1ing, you never want to put flow state on a timer like that. There's so many instances where you'll be M1ing, and then you'll back up and then do a flow state mayhem to counter them, or just kind of, I guess, interrupt their move, right? You don't want to be wasting it on the M1s that you're doing in the parry trade. It's just not a smart idea. I'm sorry. In M2, it's not as bad, but when you're doing flow state mayhem, then you're not gonna have it, right? So I would just put it on its own button and bite the bullet and actually learn the muscle memory for doing the inputs, right? So for mayhem, it's gonna be roll, and then you're gonna have to flow state M1 and then roll cancel. That's just how the mayhem input is, and you have to learn that, right? That's just something you have to learn. That's what makes silent art medium not actually that brain dead. People say silent art medium is brain dead. It is until you get to the high elos when you actually have to use your brain, okay? So if you have a flow state on M1, M2, take that shit off and actually use your brain and put it on a button and learn the inputs. Mistake number 2. Mistake number 2 is using Seer. Oh my god, I actually hate when I see silent art mediums use this fucking enchant. Bro, if you want damage, go Detonation, bro. There's not really a better alternative. Detonation solos by far. If you want, dude, even Obfuscation, right? Obfuscation has the innate bleed damage if you have enough agility, right? So it has bleed damage. Let's go to my go bitch real quick. Let's hit the dummy real quick. I don't have a Seer weapon on me because I don't even fucking run that shit. That shit is terrible, right? But look, these are the M1s. They apply bleed, and it's not the weapon that has bleed, it's Obfuscation that gives it bleed because of the speed boost, right? So, what I'm trying to say is that you're going to be doing extra damage on Obfuscation anyway, with the chip, with the speed buff, that it's just a better alternative, and so is and Detonation is true damage, bro. In terms of value, in almost every game you play, League of Legends, whatever, true damage will almost always have the most value. So get true damage. Everyone's running 50 fizz, 600 HP in top chun. You need true damage to actually do damage. And I wasn't a firm believer in this until I played the other silent art medium who I think is the best in the world. And he literally he uses a default sword and he uses Detonation on it, and he's beating me with that, bro. He's beating me with a default sword with Detonation. That's how strong Detonation is. And in a gank, bro, I would just run No Life King or Detonation. You can even run Chilling. Chilling isn't bad. Seer is good. It's not bad, but it's just not the best option. If you want damage, run Det. Mistake number 3. Mistake number 3 is having a high willpower or intelligence, or both actually, investment. Oh my god, I see so many silent art medium builds with all the dead gods, and it actually pisses me off so much. Because first of all, a Ring of Pestilence literally does it does the job, but you don't have to put in 115 stat points. And then also, if it's post shrine, it's all the dead gods is terrible. It's just never worth running. So just go Ring of Pestilence, and if you really want to go like high willpower, you can. I don't recommend it. I recommend going high strength, high agility, high like medium weapon. That's because these are all things that'll help you in the fight, right? Like they're gonna be active all the time. If you have high intelligence, high willpower, you're giving yourself a bunch of ether. Like the high strength will give yourself pen, a lot of pen, but the high ether, that's like not really doing much for you, bro. In a gank or in Chant, bro. Like if anything, you're flinging it against like a shadow user, you're gonna be giving them more ether. It's just not worth it. So yeah, don't invest too much willpower or intelligence. It's just never worth it, in my opinion. And it's fucking raining again. I didn't get to fucking finish. GG. Alright, mistake number 4. Mistake number 4 is using Relentless Hunt as a gap close. This, unless you're in a gank, is not a good gap close. I'm sorry, but it's one of the most punishable things in the entire game. If they're on a light or medium weapon, they can actually just anim hide an M1 while parrying, and it's genuinely, you're forced to predict parry. You do this, and then you have to predict parry. That's like literally what you have to do against a good player who knows how to parry that. And so yeah, it's very punishable, like insanely punishable. And with the best sound on mediums like me and Champ do, Champ does M1 Fate into this, where he basically like always hits their posture or dodge, and he move stacks the crit, and it like always guard breaks. That shit is really broken, by the way. And then I usually just air swing into it, like so they'll be like right here in front of me, and I'll go like this way, and then they'll usually parry because I think I'm gonna like hit them with an aerial attack, but instead I'm just going next to them, and then I'm also like pressuring their posture and their dodges, right? So that's what you want to use it for. You do not want to use it for a gap close unless you're in a gank, or maybe if someone's like really far away from you and they're like high up too, or like if they're way below you in Chime, like if they're running away from you and they're not looking at you, they see the symbol on them like at the last second, so it's actually kind of unreactable. But that's the only situation where you want to use it as a gap close. In every other scenario, you do not want to use it as a gap close, ever. Alright, finally, we're on to mistake number 5. Mistake number 5 is not respecting counters. If you didn't know, Sound on medium gets hard countered by counters, right? Like, they're insanely annoying to fight. What I told you about earlier is about air swinging into, like, a Relentless Hunt. They can just counter it. If they miss the parry, they can just use their counter button. The Contractor counter is really broken against it. The just prediction is really broken against it. Unbidden is really broken. So, like, you have to kind of bait these out. First of all, feint Vengeful Pursuit, right? So if someone is in front of you, like there's someone like usually a heavy player will watch for the Vengeful Pursuit. They'll try to punishment it like off the start of the match. Just miss it on purpose. Like literally just do that. And they will usually just use their counter and miss it. And then you can approach them. Now they're in their like the end lag, so you can actually gap close and pressure them. It's a very Vengeful Pursuit is an insanely good feint that people don't really use. Like you should miss this on purpose a lot of the time. Something else too to avoid counters is this. You can actually like turn around. And a lot of the time people use their counter and just miss. It's like feinting your Relentless Hunt. That's kind of what you want to do against a counter. Because a lot of the time the counters will watch for that and then you turn around at the last second, right? It's a really good technique to use against counters. Apart from that, it's low-key a skill matchup. I think counters are still a hard counter. Sound on medium relies on you burning options or hitting you in the middle of options, in the middle of a roll or whatever. So, and counters are really good at when you have no options left, or like in those situations, right? You can't really play for shaky block because that's when counters don't really work. So, yeah, basically use your brain when you're facing against counters more. Feint the Vengeful Pursuit, feint the Relentless Hunt, stuff like that, right? Just use your brain, bait it out. And yeah, that's it for the 5 mistakes that I see Sound on medium players do. There's definitely a lot more, but the main idea is to use your brain, bro. I'm not gonna lie, use your brain. When you're in the 1300s to 1400s in terms of elo, there's so many Sound on mediums, right? It's like almost like it's a free pass to 1300 if you are a Sound on medium. And then once you get to 1500, there are none. There are literally like 2 Sound on mediums, and they're usually easy to beat. Like they're not that good. But then there's people like me, and there's a few other dudes too. There's Champ and there's Nan who uses Trident Spear sidearm. There's Champ is the one who uses Wormtooth, and like we all actually kind of have unlocked Sound on medium like full skill potential. Like I use this as a roll catch. There's a bunch of things that I actually am really good at and like understand about Sound on medium that I can kind of make it viable in high elo, right? So you can too. You just have to use your brain and Take flow state off M1 and stop doing all those other dumb things that I like said earlier. There's also other things too, like small things, like honorable mention will say be able to use multiple weapons, right? You want to be able to use Shadow Katana, you want to be able to use Trident Spear crit. Don't use a shitty crit. The crit is like your extra Silent Arm medium ability. It works with your kit. You can move stack with it. And you can also M1 feint into your crit. This is anti-mage. If a mage is just running around using moves, you can hit them in the middle of their move from far away. Like, you want to be able to be proficient with multiple weapons too. And that's kind of low-key the sixth mistake, but whatever. That's just the tip. That's the honorable mention, whatever. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to be posting way more Silent Arm medium shit too. Like, I am blue name right now, so stay tuned. I like boss rating too. I'm going to be posting more boss rating stuff as well. So yeah, thank you. Hit that resonance button, hit that subscribe button. Peace out.